fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way. And I just don't agree with the character, actions that he took.
The problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want a fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money.
Terence Crawford lashed out at Floyd Mayweather after sparring footage surfaced, voicing his frustration over actions he felt were disrespectful. Crawford said he expected more from someone who claimed to be cool with him, stressing that training sessions should remain private, and that such a move was disappointing coming from a fellow champion.
I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time. And, when the Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and, signed, I just felt like he just did a lot of fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way. And I just don't agree with the character, actions that he took.
Eddie Hearn's remark that Terence Crawford should consider retirement highlights the divide in the boxing world over his future. On one side, Hearn praises Crawford's spotless legacy, having ruled multiple divisions, dismantled top-level opponents, and cemented his place among the all-time greats. Walking away now would preserve that image forever, much like other legendary champions who left at their peak. On the other side, Hearn acknowledges the pull of financial reward. With Saudi money reshaping the sport and cross-promotional blockbusters on the rise, Crawford could still earn record-breaking paydays, even in fights that add little to his legacy. For Hearn, the real question lies in balancing legacy against fortune, something he, as a promoter, understands better than most.
Sorry?
Should Crawford retire?
Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5? 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want a fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, he was obviously very close to him, seemed to say, so maybe that's it.
Floyd Schofield believes Terence Crawford should step away while on top, having already achieved everything that defines true greatness. From becoming the pound-for-pound king to winning titles across divisions and defeating the best of his era, Crawford's legacy is unquestionable. Schofield isn't doubting his skill, but warning that pushing further could bring unnecessary risk. If Crawford does return, Schofield suggests it should only be against rising contenders like Virgil Ortiz or Frank Martin, fighters who represent the next generation eager to test him. Still, Schofield's stance comes with respect. He insists Crawford has nothing left to prove, and retiring now would preserve his flawless record and cement his legacy at its peak.
So, I feel like Crawford, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil or Duran. I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights we just got to see. We just got to see those fights before. I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch? Maybe a rematch with Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough.
Valid?
If it was close, maybe, but it just was like, it wasn't close.
The debate over a dream matchup between a prime Floyd Mayweather and a prime Terence Crawford continues to ignite boxing fans. Mayweather's defensive brilliance and unmatched ring IQ made him virtually untouchable, while Crawford's adaptability and killer instinct have broken down every opponent in his path. Yet reality paints a different picture. Mayweather is well past his prime, lacking the reflexes and stamina he once had. Any present-day clash would be more spectacle than genuine contest, which is why the fantasy remains just that, a dream of what could have been.
So yeah, everybody, so this is a good question that The Ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather a fantasy fight that will never happen? Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, if this was old Floyd Mayweather, well, I'm going to say pretty boy Floyd. I'm talking about like the younger version of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford, but you're talking about money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt. Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight, and people just need to see, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, fights, later down in the years. I think Crawford would just be able to break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward foot movement and footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, no, nobody beats Floyd. Or if you try to compare somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd would beat everybody. I don't think it's a case of Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually beat Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo Alvarez.
Analysts caution that greatness can be measured by stats and accolades alone, especially in head-to-head comparisons. Floyd Mayweather's 50-0 record and ability to stay undefeated across eras is a rare achievement, while Terence Crawford's distinction as an undisputed champion in multiple divisions is something Floyd never accomplished. The debate gets complicated because their careers unfolded in different times, making direct comparisons difficult. Mayweather's legacy is built on global stars and massive pay-per-view events, while Crawford shines through dominant, decisive victories. Ultimately, analysts argue that what looks superior on paper doesn't always translate to being the better fighter. It all comes down to context, style, and timing.
Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11. But my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11. So you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped him over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on and on, I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford. You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time, and that's okay. It's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Zab Judah's perspective carries weight, having experienced Mayweather's brilliance firsthand and knowing the demands of the sport at its peak. His acknowledgement of Crawford as the king of this era reflects how each generation crowns its own standout. Judah even reminded fans of Canelo Alvarez's remark that Crawford might be better than Floyd, a comment that fueled endless debate. To Judah, Crawford's dominance across multiple weight classes proves his completeness as a fighter, as he has consistently carried his power, timing, and composure with him. His words feel like a symbolic passing of the torch. Floyd ruled his era, but today, Crawford wears a crown.
The punch can knock him out, you know what I'm saying? The size will be a factor. None of that was nothing.
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds. How did you score? You just score about sound about fair?
What's that?
Sounds about right?
I had it closer, but there's loads of different scores.
Okay, 2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds.
I had 2 rounds. Yeah, he ain't do anything. I gave him a possible 3 rounds. So if I play space, we gave him 2 in a possible.
Where did you put him in the all-time list? 5-weight world champion,
Who?
3-weight undisputed, Terence Crawford.
Who?
Terence Crawford.
He's number 1 right now. He's number 1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, that, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You like to see a rematch?
Probably rematch will always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting topics earlier.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, I think so.
What's up?
My boys are dogs,
Sure.
trust me.
Thank you.
I was watching Bill City. That's right.
Crawford stressed that Canelo's opinion holds more weight than that of fans or analysts since he has shared the ring with both men. Still, Crawford pointed out the key difference in circumstances. Mayweather fought Canelo when he was young and still developing, while Crawford faced him as a seasoned super middleweight champion. That timing, he argued, changes everything. For Crawford, defeating an experienced Canelo carries a different significance than Floyd's victory over a raw prospect. In highlighting this, he both defends his own achievement and respects the historical context of Mayweather's win.
He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know, I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always love watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer.